My wife called me a useless man and the next day she walked into my office without realizing I owned the whole company. I'm Ethan 31 and for years I thought my wife Mia loved me for the simple low-key guy I was. I never bragged about money, never flaunted anything, never tried to act bigger than I was. I just lived quietly and comfortably. But apparently she hated that. It started with small comments. Why don't you dress better? Why don't you try to earn more? Everyone else our age seems more successful. We weren't struggling, bills were paid, savings were solid, life was stable. But she didn't want stability, she wanted luxury, attention, the social media lifestyle. One night she snapped and told me, I'm tired of living like this, I want a husband with ambition, not a useless man who's satisfied with scraps. Those words hit me harder than anything. I just looked at her and said, all right. She didn't know the truth. My father had passed away 2 years earlier and left me 42% ownership of a fast-growing tech company. The board and I agreed to keep my ownership quiet during restructuring. Outwardly, I looked like a mid-level analyst. In reality, I was signing off major decisions that shaped the company. But Mia never asked, she was too busy comparing me to others. A few days later she packed her bags and said she needed space. She actually moved in with a coworker she had clicked with. I didn't argue or chase her. 2 weeks later our company hosted a mandatory leadership summit for all employees including new hires. And Mia was one of them. She had joined the company 4 days earlier in a junior coordinator role. She had no idea whose company she walked into. When the event started she stood in the crowd, principal shareholder and executive director Ethan Carter. I walked onto the stage. Her face went pale, she froze completely. I looked at her for a second then continued my speech. After the event she rushed backstage. Ethan, why didn't you tell me? Would it have changed anything, I asked. I just didn't know you were worth something good enough, is that what you mean? She looked down and said I made a mistake. I nodded and said I know, then walked away. Later came the calls, the texts, the crying. She said she wanted to fix things. But she didn't want me, she wanted the lifestyle she thought she could now have. I filed for divorce. She still works at the company but far away from my department. Sometimes I catch her staring like she regrets everything. But me, I've never felt more free. Never let someone decide your worth just because they can't see the future you're building.